evolve, often many times daily. I've received many questions about long-term care and our role at public health in keeping their residents safe during this pandemic. I'm truly concerned about the devastating impacts of COVID-19 that we are seeing at our long-term care homes.
These assholes just spent 8 minutes advertising some sort of company to give money to businesses. Talking about how they're protecting the privacy of dead people that don't have privacy. More placating and
part of the province's healthcare system.
How fucking stupid are you people?
In order to qualify to live in a long-term care home, residents must have significant health needs and require help with most daily activities. This means that residents of our long-term care homes
Hey,
are amongst the most
this ain't even the money I made
and
today.
vulnerable
This is
in
money I
our
just made.
community.
I made money, I spent it, I reloaded, made more money.
The Ministry of
I was going to
Long-Term
show you the
Care
other money, but it's gone.
regulates, inspects,
People are assholes.
and sets out accommodation fees for all long-term care homes. And
What's that,
long-term
like
care
$1,100
homes
a
are
month,
either
$1,500,
managed
$12,000,
or
some shit?
operated by the municipality, the private sector, or a not-for-profit organization. In Toronto, we have 10 long-term care homes that are operated by the city and many others that are run by private and not-for-profit operators. The health and safety of the home's residents falls under the purview of the home and its management team. My team at Toronto Public Health works closely with all long-term care and retirement homes in the city to implement infection prevention and control best practices to proactively prevent and control outbreaks.
You're fucking lying, obviously, because you didn't do one fucking thing that's on that list.
All licensed healthcare institutions, including long-term care homes and retirement homes, are required to report outbreaks to their local public health department. We at Local Public Health investigate all reports of suspected and confirmed outbreak and assist facilities in implementing appropriate infection control measures to diminish the severity and the length of any outbreak or infectious disease that they experience.
You're listening to Dr. Eileen Davila, Toronto's Chief Medical Officer of Health. We've just received the latest COVID-19 update from her as well as Mayor Tory, and we'll have those details for you at
Go to
the
this
top of the
website
hour.
and send money to some
It's
business that has a
CRTRA
verified
in
bank
Toronto.
account. What the
It's
fuck are you talking about? You ain't taking my cash, you ain't shit, nigga.
On for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Slajana.
One of my grandfathers died in a house yard. One of my grandmothers lives in a condo. One of my grandmothers died in a house her daughter owned. And my other grandfather, at the end of his life, lived in a city-run fucking nursing home. They took good care of him. But don't give me this bullshit about you do all this, you do all that. No, you fucking don't.
Changes are coming for long-term care homes. As the pandemic goes on, there's a bleak
If there had been any risk of an infectious disease, I would have said the conditions were horrible. But there wasn't at the time. Everything was fine at the time. They took good care of him. He was happy. Yeah, he was gone upstairs, but we knew.
In the battle against COVID-19, the Prime Minister announcing new quarantine rules, new equipment for provinces, and says talks are underway to boost supports for staff and
We're doing everything we can. We're doing everything we can to get more fucking
Mitch Marner trying to keep
clout,
busy with the NHL on pause, and basketball in China is still months away. Sports at 15.
basketball in China. What, you're going to start making the stilts with the bamboo or something? I could crack jokes too. Hey, what, the net's going to be 5 feet tall and you're still going to have to jump, eh? I could crack jokes too, eh?
Time now for traffic and weather together on the ones.
It's okay, I'm 6'2". I'm not really that good at basketball.
Good afternoon. This report brought to you by Roto-Rooter Emergency Services. Mostly
Oh,
construction
fuck my
on the
head
major roads right now, but we have a new problem on the southbound 427. Basically, right at the 407, we have the left lane blocked by police. They're conducting some kind of investigation here. So the south 427 getting back up.
Conducting some kind of investigation. Did you
Right
just
down
guess
the
that?
overpass is basically where this problem is, and then once you get past that, it's free and clear. And we have reports of some metal
Free
debris
and
still on the
clear.
westbound QEW approaching Trafalgar. That was in the second lane from the left, and we checked in with the MTO about 10 minutes ago. They said it might be a little while before they can get a crew free to get to that spot. Because most of them are tied up with construction right now, including on the West QEW west of Winston Churchill, where the left lane is closed, so you'll have to pass through that construction zone. And then again, approaching Trafalgar, watch out for the metal debris in the second lane from the left.
Metal debris.
Closures, the southbound Kennedy Road ramp to the west.
Is it like pieces of a ladder? Did it used to be a ladder?
Airport Road ramp to the eastbound 401 has been shut down for maintenance. Looks like that crash on Black Creek at Lawrence is cleared. Still delays northbound from Trethewey up towards Lawrence, but it's starting to ease. And O'Connor's reopened from Sunrise to Victoria Park after a police investigation. Roto-Rooter is fully prepared to continue to serve you in this difficult time to help with any of your drain, plumbing, or disinfection needs. Contact them 24/7 online at rotorooter.com. Your next report at 4:11, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsay.
Moving like
All right,
the
we're looking
lights
at on and
the
off
water.
rain, snow showers, flurries out through Hamilton, Alliston, areas to the north like Orangeville, Keswick. And
A little
that is
chilly. I
some
didn't see
icy
none of
spots.
this
When you
stuff.
head out there in the morning, if you have to head out, -2 degrees is what you're going to meet
Oh, I'm
in
in
the
such
morning with
pain.
wind chills near
Look at this
-7. And
crazy
tomorrow's
headache,
almost
sinus
identical
thing
to
here.
today, where we start off with the sun. We build the cloud in the afternoon with these rain, snow showers on and off
You
throughout
say
the
we're gonna
latter
build
part of the
clouds?
day. Tomorrow's high cooler than today at 5 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of -2. It is now 6 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time, 4:03.
Breaking news from the Ford government this afternoon, extending the provincial state of emergency, and that will have an impact on your child's school year. Now, the developments all come as the province reports 483 new cases of COVID-19, along with 43 deaths.
680's Mark Douglas joins us live with more from Premier Ford and the latest from Queen's Park. Mark.
So, Jenna, another 28 days for the state of emergency in Ontario, all because of COVID-19. The extension goes until May 12th now, eclipsing the already delayed return to school.
Just to confirm, students will not be going back on May the 4th. That does not mean the year is canceled.
Premier Doug Ford says the education minister will have more details in the next couple of days. The Ford government
It doesn't
also
mean the
bringing
years.
in
These
changes
kids haven't had a
that will
full
affect
month of school
long-term
all
care
fucking
homes.
year.
Part-timers will
They haven't had a
restricted
fucking
to
week.
only working at one home. To stop
Well, I'm the
spreading
bad guy because of how
COVID-19
I
from
live.
one
Somehow they
long-term
see
care-
that and I'm
long-term
making them
care
this
home
way.
to the other.
Well, you fucking
Premier
idiots are
Ford said
fucking
the
your kids
province
though.
is reviewing a funding offer from Ottawa to boost the salary for those workers. Ford was asked about the possibility of making these changes the new normal for long-term care homes beyond the coronavirus crisis.
Personally, yes. My heart breaks for these people. They deserve every penny 10 times more than that as well. But again, that's my personal opinion. I will take the advice from our chief medical officer and the team and long-term care as well.
Staffing at long-term care homes will be topped up by all the names being by all the people coming forward through the job matching portal that the province launched last week, and personal protective equipment for long-term care.
All these PSWs thought they were going to get a big pay rate. We're going to get more money because we're dicks. No, you're not. You're getting replaced by volunteers, motherfucker. Those are volunteers. They'll end up getting paid, sure, but they signed up for the job, right? Oh, all you evil motherfuckers get replaced. What I say, that's going to happen.
And that when people look back at this time in the future, we will be judged on how well we looked out for each other. Reporting live, I'm Mark Douglas.
Well, COVID-19 has made its way into Toronto's
Not all you
shelter
regular
system.
people,
As
you're
of this
supposed to
morning,
stay
there have been
home.
a total of
All
30
these
cases
mouthpieces.
among clients at 7 different shelter service settings. Most have been resolved, but public health is investigating at least 3 outbreaks at the Willowdale Welcome Center.
You are a crazy old bat, and I'm glad you're not on any of the other paper money. She's not supposed to be on this. She's not a prime
I'm
minister.
still very
She's not dead.
concerned.
She's the only
because
living person on our
COVID-19
money.
continues to circulate
That's
in our
not a prime
community, with
Or
approximately
named as also not a
30%
prime
of our
minister.
cases attributed to community spread. This
Community
is why I
spread.
keep asking.
Your mom's nickname is
This
Community
is why I
Spread.
continue to ask people who are fortunate enough to have a home, to stay home,
Yeah,
as
stay
much
home,
as
stupid.
possible,
You don't know what it's like.
and to please
You
practice
you look at
social
homeless people like
distancing.
they're in your
She
fucking
says
way.
that public
Eh?
health continues to work with
Go
shelter
home,
providers
stupid.
to stagger meal times and create more space between shelter beds, along with some extra cleaning.
We've been
Downtown
saying
Toronto, nursing
both
homes
those things
reporting
for a
more
long
deaths
time.
because of COVID-19. Darcy Home near Dundas and Beverly Street says 8 residents have died so far. Another 32 have tested positive. 11 staff members have also been infected with the new coronavirus. The home says it's doing everything it can to limit the spread in that facility.
Well, the TTC says 13 of its employees have confirmed cases of COVID-19, while 240 are now in self-isolation. The transit agency says it's working with public health officials to balance the need to provide service while maintaining the health and safety of their employees as well. TTC says it's undertaken enhanced cleaning measures at every location that a case has been confirmed.
Small businesses across the GTA have been struggling to stay afloat during this pandemic. The City of Toronto's launched an online donation platform that allows community members to make direct donations to small businesses to help lessen the impact.
Toronto-based Distantly.ca is a free, secure community crowdfunding tool that enables Torontonians and Canadians alike to support their favorite local businesses during the time of crisis they are undoubtedly experiencing. These contributions help to alleviate some of the overwhelming expenses that these businesses have, like rent and payroll during tough times.
Now, it could be your favorite coffee shop, restaurant, or even hair salon, any business that you do want to support.
Yeah, you know what I do? I buy stuff from them.
Many of us have been thinking since this pandemic was declared. It says the world economy will suffer its worst years since the Great Depression of the 1930s. Here's 6 City's Moment Koresh.
When I need a piece of glass, I get the local glass guy to cut it. I need a stove, I get the local appliance guy to bring
The
it.
International Monetary Fund is painting a fairly bleak picture, with its chief economist, Geeta Gopinath, forecasting the global economy will shrink by 3%.
This makes the Great Lockdown the worst recession since the Great Depression and far worse than the global financial crisis.
However,
The
she is predicting a
mafioso was
major
making
bounce
mad
back
money
next year
during
of
the
over
Depression,
5% growth, but she cautions there is substantial uncertainty with that
So is the
because a lot
government.
will depend on the virus, vaccines, and other variables that are hard to predict. The prediction is Canada's economy will drop by more than 6% this year, with over 4% bounce back next year. I'm Omen
Bro,
Koresh.
don't give us this bounce back shit, because you're telling us this will be done by May the 4th. You're still going by that fucking time, right?
And the trials facing our most vulnerable populations, including the elderly in long-term care and outside, and including the homeless population, has been way in excess of what has been talked about, including on the enforcement issue. So
Way more
certainly
going on. They're not talking about. You think I'm the only one see it?
That in my remarks today, I've asked the question: is there more we could be doing as a city, both with respect to our own long-term care homes and those that we don't have direct responsibility for? And we've had that discussion every single day, and never has there been an answer that says, well, yes, there's 4 more things we should be doing or could be doing that we weren't doing. But we've had the discussion constantly, and it's been a source of very acute attention.
Okay, thanks. My follow-up is for Dr. Davila. Can you explain exactly why not providing specifics on outbreaks of a reportable illness like COVID-19 at city long-term care homes is a privacy issue?
Well, I think there are a number of issues
She can't, because dead people don't have privacy rights. This will go to a public inquest.
Long-term care
My
homes.
grandfather
There are
shared the
certainly
review of one of
privacy
those.
concerns.
Search the name,
We do
dumbass.
try to, at the end of the day, we're talking about people and their homes, and the residents within those homes are loved ones and members of our community. So we do, some of them are sick with COVID-19 and seeking to recover. So we try to give them
You're
the
not
space
recovering.
in order to allow for that fulsome recovery.
I'm barely
I
recovered.
think the other important issue, though, when it comes to long-term care homes and the situation
And they
that we're
haven't mentioned
seeing,
anything about
whether we're talking about
asymptomatic
city-run
old people,
homes or
have
those
they?
who
No.
operated and run by other agencies and operators, is that the situation is changing very rapidly. So we are there as local public health to support long-term care homes, both in terms of preventing outbreaks and in managing outbreaks once they happen. However, if you want to understand and have the most up-to-date numbers around what's happening in a specific home, the best thing to do is to connect with the home directly. I think the other point that's worth mentioning at this stage of the game is when we're talking about the data that we get as local public health, whether it has to do with deaths related to COVID-19 or any other outbreak, it does take time for specific causes of death to be determined. And so we wait in order to get most confirmed data, the clear sense as to whether a given death that occurs in a home at a given time is related to an outbreak or whether in fact it's related to something else. If you're interested, however, in what's happening sort of the minute at a home, the best place to get that information is directly through the home.
They're going to tell us the same bullshit, privacy, you got to talk to the city. The city's going to say it's regulated by the province.
We've been hearing from civil liberties advocates today have some criticism for cities, Toronto included, for giving more powers of enforcement to bylaw officers and sort of expanding what they're responsible for.
Temporary power.
For the mayor, where do you think the line is balancing the need for more enforcement and surveillance to protect the community from the virus versus the need to preserve people's freedoms?
I think we've tried to stay on the right side of that line in the context that I think you always want to, make sure that you preserve people's basic freedoms in our country. But at the same time, we're facing a very serious threat to people's lives here, to people's health, and to the very way of life in our city. And I think you won't be surprised to know that I checked with our lawyers in putting bylaw together as to its legality. Nothing is assured in these kinds of things when it comes to the law and the charter. But they informed me that they felt in this case that what we were doing here was consistent with reasonable, restraints on people's conduct in the cause of making sure that we save lives. That's been the priority, is saving lives. And I think most people, have found it actually quite straightforward to follow something that has been consistent health advice given, namely that they should space themselves 2 meters away from other people to stop the spread of this virus. So I think that we've achieved
most people kind of get it. They go, if I stand too close, my droplets can make you sick, even if I don't think I'm sick. I get it. Most people get it. It's not that difficult to comprehend.
To save lives.
Just as a follow-up to that then what you have to say to people who are concerned about any expanded powers given to authorities, at least at the city level, about those powers not being rolled back once the pandemic eventually passes.
These people won't take it.
The bylaw that
I signed has given
certain additional enforcement
you know where this motherfucker lives,
powers to bylaw and police officers with respect to how people distance themselves from one another in public spaces is something that will expire automatically because of the emergency provisions and how those work. I would say to others who are not satisfied with powers that our authorities have or with laws that are passed, that is why we have a Charter of Rights, that is why we have a court system, and that while we're trying all the time to make sure that we stay on the right side of that line in favor of preserving and protecting people's rights, we also have an obligation to protect their health and to keep people alive. But those who are not satisfied we've done that right can seek redress in the courts.
Okay, thank you.
What's our close?
Go ahead, Dave.
Mayor Tory, I understand this morning you talked about having a meeting or a briefing at noon, and I believe it was focused on kind of economic recovery or how the city gets back into operation once the worst of this crisis is over. Can you give us an update on what happened there and where we're going on that?
What we have is a group we put together from the beginning. I think it was called the Mayor's Task Force on Recovery, and it has a number of councillors involved in it, and in turn they're working with people in the community and in the public service to make sure the city is ready, that we've done all the planning we have to do to make sure the city government can get back in operation as quickly as possible, because it serves the needs of many people who are out there in business with permitting and this kind of thing. We've also talked about putting a plan together, which I've mentioned before, and we were talking actively about that today, that is kind of an open for business. I don't want to call it a celebration because we're not in the mood for that at the moment, although maybe some people are, but an open for business series of events involving the main streets that I talked about, the small businesses, the restaurants, the bars, getting people to go back to doing some of those things. But we also talked about the fact that all of this is going to have to be governed by the public health considerations, because I've said repeatedly, and I think Dr. Davila has said as well, it's not going to be as if there arrives a day, hopefully as soon as possible, but any day where all of a sudden we go right back to the way everything was before. So we've also talked about how you could phase this in such a way that takes account of what the public health requirements are, but at the same time gets the city back into a way of life that we're more familiar with on whatever gradual basis. So those plans are being put together. I think they're going to be robust. I think they're going to be complete in the context of looking at every neighborhood, every kind of business, every kind of organization, all the things that go with that, and we will be endeavoring to have those ready by the anticipated time that we were told might have them be useful to us, which was at the end of that 12-week period that was talked about. But that's up to, again, how things unfold in terms of people's state of health in the city.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. It's overcast and 6 degrees right now in downtown Toronto.
Red spots all over my hands from the B19.
Steve Roberts here. The top stories for you right now. The province of Ontario extending its state of emergency for
Captain Trips, man.
Time the school year will not get back underway on May 4th. It comes as Ontario now reporting 483
After
new
this, your kids ain't gonna need nothing from the school,
as well as 43 new deaths. Now time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Alex Cicero. Alex?
Well, Mitch Marner is watching his fair share of NHL Classics with all this time off.
It's hilarious how much the game's changed in equipment-wise, penalty-wise. I mean...
I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End.
Me and my twins are best friends. Keep the dogs muscle.
The West
End. The blocks and buildings we don't even own. It's all the same stay in your zone. What the fuck happened?
What the fuck it is, nigga?
I'm not touching the buttons again. Fuck it.
Grinding, that's the motto we live by for timing. Playing games, we got no time to grind. Till our stacks so high, right? For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't about it, please stay on the Lord's side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get your show right, grind. That's the motto we live by, right? Tell all of your folks
I tell these niggas act sick like my niggas won't air you or talk tough till you see me creeping in your rear view. So I dare you, if it's me you wanna harm G. Shots make your heart stop, I'm out in a heartbeat. Always on my feet cause niggas sneak for the right price. So in these dark streets I keep it close like a nightlight. When I let it go they taking off like a race. Niggas always rap, why you think this mask on my face? Why you think I'm on this block making cash different ways? Nipping to these heads with shots pushing back your waves. Your mom catching graves when my niggas sit and laugh. But it's a straight face when I stick 'em for the stash. Yo, cause John knows I got some stacks at my base. But I'm still robbing niggas like I'm flat on my face. Still shooting shots, no shoes, get 'em laced. Do the same dirty, get away with no trace.
Grinding, that's the motto we live by for timing. Playing games, we got no time to grind. Till our stacks so high, right? For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't about it, please stay on the Lord's side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get your show right, grind. That's the motto we live by, right? Tell all of your folks
all you people, 9 times out of 10 I don't actually feel it. In real life. Average life.
When it comes down in the long run,
nothing come out of
I'm the man with the long gun. You're fucking with
the
wrong
I didn't need the diarrhea either.
I
was looking forward to that. I wanted the story.
Nigga, OD from this chrome lead. You owe me, pay me, or I flip things. Anything I find is mine, then I'm a jet. Certain niggas shouldn't chip, better off with a check. Certain niggas shouldn't grip, freeze when they see fences. Freeze when they see goonies. But it's nothing like the movie. Bunch of young dudes with nothing but a smoothie. But we still on that fuck right. And the streets done tough me. I'm counting money, got me feeling so lucky. Still feeling cursed cause I sleep with a dumpy. You niggas on me and me, I'm on my munchies. I mean on my grunge. So come try slap me. I love guns and my gun loves me. Strap on my side like a wife and a huggy. Day shift, night shift, no kid cuddy. Rubber band money, stack by the 50s. Come try track me, I brought the strap with me. I brought the strap with me.
And this is why I didn't want to press the button. There's these weird gaps and things, and it's going to be the same damn song. But I was trying to get you almost enough weed. I gotta go do another friggin' run, which I love doing, but
I'm from the West End.
Black Cross, motherfucker.
I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Yo, I'm coming straight and my niggas be pressing. Heavy artillery weapons. Ain't really into the questions. I ain't condoning no violence. The youngins are wildin', they move kind of reckless. Got the keys, police stay patting it. Stay cheese, a familiar face taxing it. Safety, didn't even want to slap
You
them.
can call me Mr. Revenue Agent.
Nobody telling me nothing. I knew from a youngin' that I be the one I hit something. Now all of these rappers is bugging. You live in the birds and you act like you came up from nothing. Shout out to my niggas on the plaza. Lane to connection, Southside Gaza. When I roll my backwood, better house robber. Never leave that charge.
Can't get her on the phone. Right.
Abdi Muhammad Mustafa. African man, that's my barber. Jamaican man, that's my shopper. Tell him the truth. Tell him the truth. These rappers, they lie in the booth. Lie in the booth. What's that got the realest? Just look at the proof. I'm living proof. The city's so litty cause we got the juice. We got the juice. So we got the juice. I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? Bench strip, jungle to the Rex Week D. I can tell a West End nigga by the way you speak, Birds chirping loud in the hood, always lose they beaks. Know that shotty with bodies got dumped in the creek. Stop, freeze. What I mean, looking for me. The chick I got that degree. What do you mean? If she don't know what I see. If you ain't been on the scene. Record is clean. I'm too wavy. Make cause your man wanna date me. I got the sauce, gravy. More than they cannot replace me. Cause I'm from the West End. Bitch, nigga, better watch that top and find out you top to the cop. So when it turn hot on your block. I'm from the West End. So they claim you a bad man. But gal, what a bad gal crew. Let me show you what a bad gal do. But you didn't know that. I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying? I'm from the West End. I'm from the West End. Nigga, what you saying?
Yo, check it. Yo.
Like I'm on the
Don't give me 10 seconds to battle your back, bitch. I leave you in the casket, using my lips, cause I'm a murderer, but you heard of me before. Derelict, the one the sickest rappers keeping it in store. I'ma keep it on lock, my lip locks like a Glock. I pop shots off my tongue and I'ma leave your ass shot. I'll lacerate across the throat from the mic board. You wanna come at me and claim that you're hardcore. I battle rapping victimize you fucking whack MCs. So don't come at me cause I'm like a venereal disease. Leave you sicking like the clap from Eddie gonorrhea. You don't wanna fuck with this shit because I'll see you till your deathbed. Off the shit that I said, off the shit that I spit off my head, leaving you a dread, laugh like the hairstyle. While I stay so fire with my profile, I mean I lock it up down with my cerebral. But all you and your people been acting like you're so evil, but you ain't bad at all. You need a slap across the jaw, whack and roll, cause claiming shit that you ain't never done before. You're claiming that you're rhyming and gritty and hardcore and roll, but I think that you learn hardcore with scare bands, and I don't care if not, you don't really play fair. We in a battle, start a cycle and spark it, or else I'm gonna have to jack you up and rob your pocket, rob your wallet. Don't know what you want to call it, being a victimized again. When this team is how we stole it. We stole it on the streets and invading the homes and kicking out fucking laws and putting guns to the domes.
Some signs that U.S. government officials may be considering how to gradually reopen the American economy. We have the TSX today up 200 points.
What did you didn't shut everything down properly yet.
The Dow was up just over 550 points, 2.4% to 23,949. S&P
it wasn't the Americans saying, Canada, you can't come over right now.
Tech stocks are hot right now.
It was us shutting the door before they realized it was shut.
Amazon closing at a record high.
New York's right there, right?
For a coronavirus-related boom for this company, which is catering to everyone who's staying home. Amazon up 5.25%. $2,283 US the share.
Sick, desperate motherfuckers better stay on that side of the line, too, eh?
Car maker up another 9% today at $709. On Bay Street, it was tech stocks that was tops as well. Shopify gaining 11.25%. Elsewhere, Canadian Tire up 6%, and Cargojet, another strong name as of late, gaining 2.3%. Signs spread that the virus may have peaked in Europe and is leveling off in the U.S., and that really gave investors some confidence today. On the earnings front, Johnson & Johnson gained 4.4%. The drugs and consumer products maker reported first quarter profit and sales that were better than what was expected. Oil falls 10%, $20.11. Gold continues to rally, up to $1,768 the ounce. Meantime, two of the biggest drug companies in the world are combining forces, combining their labs to try and come up with a COVID-19 vaccine. Sanofi Pasteur and GSK are aiming to start clinical trials later this year and hope to have regulatory approval early next year. Canadian dollar up to 71.95 cents US. Top stories next on 680 News.
It's one big prize after another in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery. Enjoy living in this $1.6 million Upper Beaches grand prize. It comes fully furnished, professionally decorated, and with $25,000 cash. Plus,
now I slang crack, no I don't slang crack because I'm hypocritical because I said it was so bad. Now I'm sitting here and I'm acting oh so mad, but I'm oh so bad. At the same time my brothers be making money, but it ends off the packs and that ain't damn funny. Seen the rig up in the fucking yard.
Bar code, breaking the code, put the
like what we gonna do?
the
My
serial
kids be
number.
getting staffed up. Age of 12, like yo, let's get this cash up and get this cash up and take them out. Cause we need to band together and get the fakes out. The negativity's the life for helping me focus on everything else, not the positive. So let's go on and just flow. I'ma keep it on the mic, just flow. I'ma keep it on the mic and just flow.
Do what you want, but don't talk, because once I walk
your fake ass slurs to life, and let's go. I'ma keep it on the mic. And I'ma keep it on the mic.
Canadian blank. Canadian, eh? Canadian. Everybody skip back to this thing.
I do this for my SG riders, Jeezy Loki right behind the scene, get behind me sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, flowing in the wind. And shorty wanna talk for the night, for a talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG riders. Jeezy Loki right behind the scene, get behind me sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky, all my niggas riding with me, I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. And shorty wanna talk for the night, for a talk for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough,
I got a sound like this, see my nigga H.S. stay strapped with the trap, the facts and six sex. I'm rough cause my closest niggas, they move black. All the mother used to pose in the block and protect, like what's next? All I see is money in my vision. Homie, I paint Pittsburgh, spitting me and them niggas different. We can never be the same niggas, snitches trying to blame it on niggas that wanna share. Gucci belt niggas know back in my hand is gon' hurt. When I'm not great, connect to you, bring it two shots to be dead. You stay in your lane, I'm in it for the dough, my niggas. And they don't for the dough. I got a pack of 4 things a nigga tryna stuck, then I lead them to the floor. You already know how I go. Anything goes for the dough.
For the dough, my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG riders, Jeezy Loki right behind the scene, get it behind me. sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG riders, GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, I be taking bricks. I make a clip and let it take all of my paper quick. Get 20 they can tell me that I have the shit. I ain't some hustle, cause you niggas to be playing with. I'm afraid to bitch when I'm SG. Nigga been a pot for the last tunnel vision. I'm seeing money is my plan. Can't keep second. That's what you think better if I pull the top out. Everybody gon' pay the face work. And my nigga don't ready to slide. I'm ready back with your hope. I can get up inside. I always been a real nigga and I never was high. I used to work 9 to 5, but it's better than grind. Getting high up the weed I smoke. I gotta keep the heat close. You know I need my throat. Shit, I seen before niggas to leave you go. I told my nigga Teasy go. Yeah, we can sneak and go. For the dough, my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG riders, GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end.
My head looks like a bitch, but I'm not talking.
GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end.
I gotta talk like this. Free my nigga Ox. Button fingers for niggas who speak the clock. Man, I'm back on my bullshit. Never really gave a fuck. I make 2 G's. And I never shoot a play with guns. Lock like they mess, but they talk like a ladies bunch. Laughing at your team like who the fuck rock the Brady bunch. There's no keys for the beat, I got the latest stuff. So I'm about to see my fucking trying to make you pay for us. Feel like 2 stone thunder I got. It's the truth, he ain't the truth, man. He under the skies. I bump down, but still under the skies. I ain't stepped in how long. Can't you see the bags under my eyes? Like how I ain't living yet. Used to rush a back a day. Never smoked a cigarette, but now I smoke a back a day. From the 6th grade, I've been scrapping with this gang. Get wet like a nigga that can trap me in the rain. No love, no heart, nigga. I'm a rich man, nigga. Working my work, I know fuck, nigga. Finna die. Niggas, I know luck. And I was ready to ride. The niggas never showed up. Waved in my hands and the devil on my shoulder. Said I wouldn't stop and I got shot with a gold. But it's bitch in the streets, nigga. So what? Yo, I'm in the streets, nigga. So what? Rob my connect whenever the dope slopes up. Yo, I'm in the streets, nigga. So what? Rob my connect whenever the dope slopes up.
My nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG riders, GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG riders, GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, I'm in the minds and any friend disguise and I'm thinking dope and I'm getting pussy, pushing niggas in the center rising. I've been about it, I bang your body. I need like Ray Bugatti. They got the kind of nigga putting right through your mommy. Pulling shooters by me. I'm suited in new Versace and CRP. I call it my click on my crew. I like it. You see the niggas slipping, I'm gripping, using the shot. I'm ready to make my money, you niggas I'm for hobby. The shorty wanna ride before they got me body. I ain't stopping till I'm in the Benz. I'm balling in the Audi. Bitches call a nigga poppy. I go all in for the profit. You need it, I can get it. If you want it, then I got it. Got it dirty, bitch, and make it nigga harder than a rocket. I'm paying the bills, I'm feeling like I'm harder with the rocket. I don't give a fuck like a bitch, gotta be making my dough. I'm picking the middle, so get on my level, my niggas to get it dope. For the dough, my nigga, I'ma have to get it in. For the dough, I'm about to go and get it in. I do this for my SG riders, GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough, my nigga. For the dough, my nigga. Never want this shit to end. Do this for my SG riders, GZ Loki right behind the scene. Hit it behind me, sipping on the gin. Them hoes stay down when it's sticky. All my niggas riding with me. I be feeling trippy, blowing in the wind. The shorty wanna fuck for the night, pour a cup for this life. I feel I never want this shit to end. For the dough,
Yeah, this is the same shuffle. Somehow it's skipped back. I gotta put more tracks in, but I can't just play everything if I want to play. Just lose the channel that way. That's what the new one and the band did. Yeah. Shot one time. What?
Yo, take 'em out, bring 'em out, dead. Westwood, hit 'em in the head. 1 gun, 2 gun, 3 gun, 4 ready, 4, 5, 5, yo, murder, who the hell? Oh, no, them Westwood, push the bike at them boys, me, murder, we never have peace, we make a back.
Oh, buddy still owes me $5. I don't owe nobody no $5, but buddy owes me $5.
Can't play, no way, the shit he plays, I speak the sex, no way. That's the black queen, yeah, England,
This nigga
and
said
now
he's
the
gonna get shot for $5.
what we bringing, it's the demon in the peanut for the music,
hip-hop, we won't abuse it.
we just choose it, so burn the flag, cause I'm on that rebel shit, the level kick, 10 pounds on the ass, yeah, pass when you drag, to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west, foot, go on, shit, red, what, fall it down, fall it down, the president, fall it down, DJ Westwood,
I DJ women and everything.
What the DJ's on the mix, that ain't all that tip, so don't skip the sound, my nigga, that's foul, now you can't get the chance to catch new music, and that's
In an emergency, you can use this as a signal, man. See that? I'm flying by in an airplane, you're gonna see that. Driving in the mountains, you're gonna see that.
Ooh, it hurts so bad when I
I smell maple syrup and my Canadian sense is going off. I think there's trouble. Oh, I see Queen Elizabeth.
Now it's time to get live with Westwood the best. Come on, feel the vibration from the station. The pumping frustration in the nation. Why the president falling down? They falling down. They falling down. The president falling down. And none of with the wrong nigga brother. You rap up for the mother. Plus, I got the Westwood, you ain't no other. Pull this trigger, shade, your lady pray for your maker. 2 in the heart, a flip in the head. Radio, get your every move up Westwood. You can get your ass buried. Cause when it's a full moon, you get a chill in his mind. Every loses his mind, look at a shower, a nickel plate at night. Your blood clot warrior, Rasta and Rasta. You sweat Westwood and do not know why. You up for Westwood, you just don't die. Either crazy like sticky or your mother never die. Marijuana. I want some marijuana. Out of here.
Oh my fucking head hurts.
Nah, they couldn't just start 6, like, you know?
Free up the youth, David.
Same?
Free 6, 3 kilo, 3 John, OG. Go hard
like Logan. All black on my clothing.
All black, marksman.
It's flash, yeah. And there is no DJ can put the competition to the 4, 3, 2, 1, and slack the track. Got 43 saved for the package. They get their views up and then they take advantage. We kill it for the inside, baby. Miscarriage for the cabbage. Rest of the savage, get a bandage. Niggas couldn't manage. Suplex on the canvas. I'm Randy Savage. You know that's the work of art. Silhouette, my nigga slide when you wear the parts on parts. I can have that way from the part out days. So freeze with a card that slave. Don't watch my age, just watch when I pop my case. I fight engaged when niggas wouldn't watch them ways. I'm not amazed at y'all. Talking paid, the chop for drain. A nigga we just spot the place and drop the strays from the strap that I got in case. It's like a hurricane, the niggas gotta rock the place. So what my dudes now? Let my dudes dead.
Remember, so far I've had no fucking pharmaceutical stuff or anything.
Kids got my music in class, spreading the schools down. The demon killed Jesus, get some king of the Jews now. A shot blasted was blasphemous. Rip this piece off, Jesus sweat the Nazareth. You getting money, we gon' tax them all. We can slap the back and forth, nigga, like a racquetball. Bike crash, nigga still rapping when I had cracked my jaw. Got a new strap to the body I can practice on. You niggas make this easy, call Keezy. Niggas disrespecting her set, she get TT. Couldn't take a shit on this paper, it's not TP. Put my fucking arm up, told me to drink green tea. I gotta could've washed these bags. I got an AR in the top key bag. See, that's the most basic. When I step out the matrix, try to give you a playlist. I put that on my handkerchief. I'm from a gang of Crips. Dodgy Kong when they're banging off a banana clip. LL when a nigga get on that cannabis. Rockstar whenever they beating niggas on cameras. We transport weight, it's grams. On a scale top, the word looks strong enough to bribe or have your belt product. Fuck house arrest to go visit you with the bell cops. You're not home, I promise that you gon' see what your bell does. From the projects, then you gon' catch the concept. From 007, the rock till launch you in the complex.
You know that random black guy? He ain't no fucking battle rapper. He ain't no fucking good rapper. His tracks are trash.
Yo. Yeah, we rep for the street niggas, man. The voice of the streets, the black top. Yeah, the niggas that be on the soil, you on the turf out here, boy. You know what I mean? Hey, we got that military shit, nigga. Bullets by the ton. I like you don't know. Let's run it.
I doubt you want some hot left. Your outfit. Ain't no bringing back the bullet once I let the hammer hit. You never had damage, and I know what you dealing with. Trying to fuck here me, but nigga, I ain't feeling it. It's heavy old niggas talking more than what you show. Plus, think you safe just cause the niggas he know. Niggas in gang, listen up. Check this out. Damn, what you talking about? I ain't giving a fuck about repercussions on twisting. I'm in a discussion like bitches, not just. I'll stop you in the middle of your sentence like a compliment. You look like I'm lying. Better be getting with your brains and integrity. It goes for you and anyone that takes the taxes. Such as you washed up like shells on the shelf. Walking like my gun under the shells in the slow. I'm a better motherfucker. I'm gonna hold the gun. The shit is full of niggas. I got me one. I got me sleep with me. So yeah, let's get back. Y'all smart. Niggas now damn niggas. Now you study. I'm a real my next week till the clip. So it's too much for me. I ain't got to run. I got things to look me in my eyes, you can tell that I'm a ride. When you come down foot, nigga, I'ma get all out the side. You with these with the gun in these streets. Niggas play for keys where I'm from, I don't give a fuck. And I played around with that bitch shit. I fucked off around to get it out real quick. You got to ride, and they're riding off time. So when the boy craft off, you know what vibes on front line, nigga, and I'm out. It ain't too loud to trust. Some niggas out here with a stitch and bitch up on homie, wait a minute. That shit ain't gangsta, me, man. Tell them niggas that they pussy. That they nut bag got grown ass men with they nuts on top. But gonna be a victim. Got grown ass men with they nuts on top. But gonna be a victim, nigga. I got me one out. These niggas be bitch up. Let's get on the ground and blood pissing. I don't feel no butterflies. I'm a shoe gun time like the mean guys. Break the culture, mother die. Make them dust fly and your family even cry. If you doesn't never, I can't survive. You know what I'm slick if you ready to die. I still react quick even though I'm hella hot. I ain't letting you put another felony. Water serve time. Still right night for your sake. Yeah, don't bother. I got me more out. These
555-1212. This number calls me, but it doesn't ring long enough to register on the call. This would just ring and stop. Somebody's got that as their call. Every time you see a picture of a phone, it says on the 555. Movies and shit. The movie character's calling me.
This year you already know. I feel like I'm finna go. I know I can hold my own. I know I can hold my own. All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get 'em on the 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day.
Yeah, they talking, but they never lived it. I've been gunning for them 7 digits. Came back with a better vision. I ain't never switching. I'ma get the chicken. Crime pays, that's my way. Try to tell them, but they never listen. Fuck the ops, fuck the cops. I'ma make a meal this winter. Merry Christmas. I've been on this since Dipset. How they wanna get their lips wet. All these bitches used to try to swear me, now I'm flexing on them with this pimp set.
All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get 'em on the 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway.
In Newfoundland. What are you at? Watch What Are You At on Sundays, 8 p.m. on CBC and CBC Gem. So join me and come on over. Not literally.
This is 680 News. Fiat Chrysler is recalling more than 550,000 pickup trucks and SUVs.
The automaker says the recall is due to windshield wiper arms that can come loose or prevent the wipers from working properly. The recall is for certain 2019 and 2020 Ram 1500 pickups, 1500 Classic pickups, and Jeep Compass SUVs. According to documents from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, loose wiper arms can reduce a driver's visibility. However, Fiat Chrysler says it hasn't had any reports of the problem causing accidents or injuries. I'm Mike Hempin.
In the U.S., New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is pushing back against President Trump's claim of total authority to reopen the nation's virus-stalled economy. Cuomo today saying that the United States doesn't have a king, but a president and a constitution.
The president is clearly spoiling for a fight on this issue. The worst thing we can do in all of this is start with political division and start with partisanship.
Health officials reporting that 778 people died from COVID-19 in New York State over the last 24 hours. Barack Obama has formally endorsed his vice president, Joe Biden, for U.S. president. The endorsement will give the presumptive Democratic nominee a boost from the party's biggest fundraiser and one of its most popular figures. In a video released online, Obama says Democrats need to come together to defeat Donald Trump.
Of course, Democrats may not always agree on every detail of the best way to bring about each and every one of these changes. But we do agree that they're needed. And that only happens if we win this election. Because one thing everybody has learned by now is that the Republicans occupying the White House and running the U.S. Senate are not interested in progress. They're interested in power.
Obama and Biden are known to be close friends from their 2 terms in the White House. Traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time 450.
In these times, keeping our lungs healthy is more important than ever before. And the Lung Health Foundation is here to help. Maybe you want to get your asthma under control, but your inhaler technique needs work. Or you have COPD, and you need tips that can help you manage breathlessness. Perhaps today you're finally ready to quit smoking or vaping. Certified respiratory educators are standing by for free
Respiratory
or
educators.
chat sessions. Visit lunghealth.ca to get started today. Breathe easy. Lung Health starts now.
Hello, it's Jeff from Reliance Home Comfort. We know things are uncertain right now, but if you need furnace, hot water, or plumbing help, we're here for you. Understanding the seriousness of the current situation, we're taking great pains to make sure that any visit to your home is safe for you as well as our Reliance team members. So if you find yourself in need of a heating or plumbing professional, we're here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As always, when you need help you can trust, just call on Reliance.
680 News Time, 451. Traffic and weather together on the watch, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill in Chopper 680.
We've had a few things clear up. On the eastbound 401 on the ramp to Dixie, that construction I mentioned last report is already gone. That's a non-issue now. On the southbound 427 through the 407, everything's opened up as well. Just a minor delay. Should be back to normal soon. The northbound Airport Road ramp to the eastbound 407 is still closed due to maintenance. I'll urge you to go check that out right now. And the southbound Kennedy ramp to westbound 401 is closed for construction. That's more of a long-term project as they're widening the collectors through that stretch, so that ramp is closed until that construction project is done. Westbound on the QEW,
making highways bigger and bigger.
Traffic spotters letting us know the debris has been cleared up, and MTO crews are still on the way, just in case there's any left over on the shoulder. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Kyle Hawking.
Well, mostly just maintenance work going on the in-town routes as well. We had that problem in Mississauga. Southbound Mavis now reopened south of Central Parkway after there was some kind of situation going on there with emergency crews responding, but everything is open now. In Brampton, looks like construction delays northbound Humber West Parkway heading up towards Williams Parkway. It looks like we have a lane blocked with maintenance work, so it is slow from Queen here. Ontario Subaru dealerships are standing by and ready to help with your essential automotive needs. Keep taking care of each other, and Subaru will take care of you.
I need to pull like a 72 F series out of the mud. It's upside down, out in the trees.
Pretty much what we're getting today. We're also getting Wednesday, Thursday,
Your
and
Subaru
Friday.
handle
It's
that.
almost a repeat here. And we saw the sun this morning. I don't know if you saw that little burst of flurries that just moved across downtown. It does look impressive, but it lasts like 45 to 60 seconds. And then it moves on to the east. So that's what we're looking at, these little pockets of flurries. Heavy at times. Temperatures tonight as we clear out the skies down to -2, wind chill -7.
I think they gave it like some
the morning is
LSD or
going to be,
something.
again,
Yeah,
repeat.
people are fucked up. We need
Sun
you
in
to
the
be
morning,
fucked up
flurries in
too.
the
Just
afternoon with a
take
high of
this.
5. Same deal Thursday, also a high of 5 degrees. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 8. Still some flurries expected in the afternoon. We're back to sunshine on Saturday and back to double digits at 10 degrees. Tonight, we're down to a low of -2. It is currently 6 degrees at Pearson.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Roto-Rooter Emergency
Oh, it would be nice
Services.
outside if I
Fully
wasn't
prepared to
sick.
help you in this difficult time with
Now I
any
feel like
of your
that
drain,
is touching
plumbing,
my
or
back.
disinfection needs.
fine.
Contact Roto-Rooter 24/7 online at rotorooter.com.
This shit is
Coming up
evil.
at 5, the Ford government
This shit
extending
is
Ontario's state of emergency by a month,
I had
and Premier
H1N1
Ford announcing the province
at
will be
one point in
redirecting
time.
unused resources and
That
staff
makes me
from
feel like you're gonna
hospitals
die.
to help fight and treat COVID-19 and
This
long-term
is
care
evil.
homes. We'll have the latest at the top of the hour. This is 680 News.
Buy early and win big in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery. Don't miss our world-famous
They always come up with these scary
$1.5 million
names.
early bird prize. A stunning Kawartha lakefront cottage built by Linwood, plus $30,000 cash. And you'll be in for the $6.8 million grand prize. Homes, cottages, condos, cars, and more. It really is one big prize after another. Buy now at PrincessMargaretLotto.com.
Over the coming days and weeks, news on the coronavirus may become overwhelming. It has never been more important to stay informed on the latest local, provincial, and federal authorities to keep you and your family safe.
Authorities.
680 News continues to bring you the
nice
facts
words.
and information
Authorities.
you need as this situation
Use
continues
the word
to
authority
unfold.
without
Now's
forcing
the time to
it to
remain
get
calm
used to it,
and stay
right?
safe. We are here with you, and will always be here.
Until I turn the fucking
It's
power
680
off.
News.
Toronto Hydro is apologizing to customers in Etobicoke who were affected by a lengthy outage last week. There was an underground cable fault that left hundreds of customers without power for almost 2
You know what
days
causes
in an
that?
area
Water.
covered by Eva Road, West Mall, and Valhalla Road. Crews worked around the clock to fix the issue, which affected customers from April 5th to April 7th. Toronto Hydro today tweeting out that they're now offering $100 gift cards to Loblaws, Walmart, or Sobeys to those who were affected and need to replenish stock in their freezers and fridges. To apply, you can go to torontohydro.com.
Don't you know all the customers already? Just give them $100 credit on their bill.
Time 4:55.
No, we're gonna make you apply through a website, and we'll send you the card in the mail. Then you have to go to that store and use the card, and you're not getting changed. So you're gonna use the whole card and bring some extra money.
Measures to keep one location open so that we can continue to monitor those already well on their way to starting a family. When Canada is back up and running strong, count on New Life Fertility Centre to be there, helping to ease the financial burden of IVF treatment. Until then, New Life wishes you good health. Stay safe. There are local heroes in our community saving lives every day. Doctors, nurses, and frontline workers, sacrificing their own well-being to take care of others in this desperate time. Without those heroic frontline workers, where would we be? The Monitoring Center Home Security would like to thank all the frontline workers, nurses, and doctors working tirelessly to keep our community safe. We are indebted to you. Your courage provides hope for better days ahead for all Canadians. Thank you. On behalf of the Monitoring Center Home Security.
680 News Time, 456.
Now the 680 News Business Report, here is Richard Southern.
Well, Janet, good afternoon. Are some members on Bay Street getting antsy amid the shutdown? Worried perhaps about their bottom line more than other things? Alan Small is with the Alan Small Financial Group at Hollis Wealth, and he wrote a blog post recently entitled, quote, "Can we afford the cost of social distancing?"
What?
Alan contends that we can't shut down for too much longer because business will suffer. Something I wanted to ask him about.
There are many people that I talk to on a regular basis, and what they're telling me is that their businesses may not reopen in, I guess, now a month's time. They may not reopen.
The fact that they're closed and might go out of business is a terrible thing, but because of that, we are saving lives.
Well, that's a good question, and I guess the answer would be saving lives on a health side of things, but how many lives may not come back from a financial standpoint?
I was just wondering if this is like the thinking in the investment community. Is money taking paramount concern here in the investment community, Alan?
And I don't think it is. Individual investors are telling me, and this is not me telling you, this is them telling me, what they need to know or what they want to know is what is the plan to reopen? Where are we going?
All right, on the markets today, we saw gains with investors. We'll see some sort of reopening soon. The TSX was up 200 points, 1.4% to 14,206. Dow Jones Industrial Average added 558 points, 2.4% to 23,449. S&P was up 3. It was the NASDAQ that was in favor with all those tech stocks. NASDAQ picking up more than 300 points or 4%. Tesla rallied another 9% to $709. This is a stock that has doubled in a month. Amazon, new record high above $2,200 with everyone seemingly staying home and ordering more, perhaps, from Amazon. The Canadian dollar on the move higher. It's up to 72.02
conning their way into government contracts.
Just 60 seconds away, right here on 680.
Why wouldn't Canada Post deliver the Ontario-made Canadian government-issued fucking masks? Where does Amazon fit into that?
I think I'm okay to drive and my car's outside. Maybe I'll just... Safety concerns discourage women from taking public transportation after drinking instead of driving. Hey, Jesse, we've both been drinking. Let's share a cab. You could crash at my place. Drunk driving is a woman's issue too. Learn how to reduce the risk at changetheconversation.ca.
If you're hearing this, you're staying in and keeping your distance. Or you're going to work and providing all Canadians with the essential services they need to get through this unprecedented time. But whether you're at home or on the front